Hi, everybody. Today, I was going to take a chance to talk about my fifth book, The 19 Steps Between Us. Came out from After the Pause Press. And editor Michael Priota, who was great and had this fantastic idea of let's publish poetry that's going to raise money for charities. Let's take projects that are unique, that fit a certain ethos, and let's sell them to raise money for folks. When we published 19 Steps Between Us, all the money that was made didn't go into his pocket, didn't go into my pocket. It went to the Ohio Alliance for Arts Education, I'm pretty sure. Which was fun. It was great to have this experience with this book and raise money for people and get to have a great experience with a book and a publisher that I trusted, an editor who is younger than me and wildly talented, and definitely one of the experiences where these books were made better by who published them, and had the best experience in terms of doing things for charity. And I've done some things, like I did a 17-hour reading for charity once. And when these opportunities present themselves, whether it's a certain group in need or just some folks coming together with some will and a little bit of money to raise more money for other people, I always try to go along for the ride with those and see what we can do to help folks. So Michael and I worked on this book for After the Pause and ended up, making some money for Ohio Alliance for Arts Education, and that's great. The book itself, the poetry in it is a 19 part sequence about all geared towards walking past a stranger. Like how do we handle ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally when we walk past someone? Is it better to lower yourself, to raise yourself, to speak to them, to be quiet, to allow their person as much room as possible? Does speaking to them interfere? If you try to get their attention, does it get in the way? And how we do that, 100 times a day, and how does that physical interaction and emotional component play in to just passing a stranger? What does it mean to care about that person despite not knowing them? What does it mean to make sure that you didn't impede someone else's journey? How do you honor someone that you don't know? And for me, ultimately, as I was writing the sequence, it was much more about finding a way to lower myself, to raise someone else. And how does passing a stranger on the street, how do we look at that as an opportunity to give them grace, to celebrate them as another person in the world? And really, that's what this whole book became about, was why does it matter when we pass a stranger? Why does it matter that we treat a stranger as well as we treat those we love? How does our physical person get in the way of that sometimes? How does ego get in the way of that? How does our own preoccupation and selfishness get in the way of that? And how do we sublimate all of that, all that jazz, all that stuff, to celebrate strangers and to celebrate people you don't know, and to give them that little gift that maybe they'd never even realize, that you saw them, that you cared about them, that you did your best, in this kind of poetic endeavor, to celebrate humanity. There's a humanist element to this, which comes into my writing again and again. And so for me, it was really fitting to get to do this book this way, to raise money for charity, to get this incredible cover, this painting that Michael was able to get. You can see like the tactile part of the cover. It was beautiful, beautiful cover, and really a great experience. I put out 2 books with After the Pause, both of them to raise money for people, and it was great. loved Michael and getting to work with him, and the whole experience was fantastic. And he's writing his own books now and doing his own thing. I'm pretty sure he's teaching. And just was a great guy, fantastic young guy that you were like, well, I'm in. Whatever this guy is going to do, I want to support him. I want to support what he was trying to do with After the Pause. And so we did a couple books together, and it was pretty fantastic. Anytime you're publishing a book that raises money for charity, you always hope it's going to sell a bunch of copies. I'm not, because you want to raise money for people. I'm not sure this did, but that's okay. I really enjoyed the process of writing the book and getting to work with Michael on it. And the poems, the standalone steps in the sequence of it, I liked a lot still. I'll occasionally still put them into readings when I feel ornery or when I'm trying to slow the reading down. Honestly, these are real, despite the motion of them, contemplative poems. Or whenever I'm trying to make myself focus on other people, I'll read these again. Because it's definitely something that still comes into my writing from time to time. Anyway, so thank you to Michael. Thank you folks that have read the book. I'm going to read the opening couple steps. And it's exciting to get to experience these poems again and share them with you all. So this is from my fifth book, The 19 Steps Between Us, which I dedicated to my little sister, Sarah. Step 1, an evaluation of my physical purpose. Each touch of my body to a surface other is a prompt to keep touching, keep moving, like a river that is almost banked to bed. And though I rarely look at the trust between my mind and the strength of the sweaty shell of my mind, I must know how or why I rush forward. I must wait for the wind to pass and allow only my voice to greet the lovely synapses of this good body. I must have more control of the philosophy of the physical so that my surprise is limited to the collision of the image and the acts of my image. I choose to keep walking because I wager on my toes so much more than I balance on my heels. The shadows will do what the shadows will do. I will know how my arms swing. I will know the pace of my gait and the context for my speed, how lion I can be without gnashing my teeth. To the first person I welcome into the bounce back of my mattering into their mattering. I will trace my beard from my jawline, and with one hand I will drag it down, straighten it to threaten only the limp parts of me. I will know to choose the limp nature. I will know that doesn't mean weakness. Once 3 buses pass me, I will evaluate everything again. I am desperate to be physically undesperate and ultimate in my control, in my bend and pace of things. And when I finally embrace the actual motion of my muscles, so many muscles that are almost always useless, there will be no battles taking place anywhere beyond my bad knee, my torn up shoulders. I will take those survivor joints as emissaries to the person in the great distance, and I will offer them as cracked branches, as an opening monologue. Do you see? Do you see how hindered I might be, and yet I am strong and willing to become the shake that can never stop? My ultimate meaning is the meaning of my departure from this stasis, where I catalog every concrete lightning of my stiffness and open each flag of my own being to welcome again the wind of the world and every passerby that joins me on this plain, on this sidewalk, in this city. And since that will be my whole world every single time, I cannot be prepared enough to bulb my darkness and season it with the sun, with the best of nature, and hope first that it will flower with the brief entrance into my garden of tendons and over-planning. I wanted this to be natural, but I wanted it more to be in deference. I cannot think first of another, and perhaps that is all of our weakness. I know it is mine. I want too much to be firmament on my feet, but I know to join any galaxy I will need another person, an orbit to hold me at a distance that can give both of us a reason to tilt towards the same flares of height and edge that before this we had only read about. And since my hamstrings can't read, I have to have a mission, the rest of me, to believe completely that this prostration theory is one that will move with me and angle me with an intention of worshiping the arrival of your mission, which will become mine if only for 1 second we are open, and that is a reason to start walking again. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you listening to that opening step there. And definitely the 19 steps between us was great fun to write. I wrote it very quickly, essentially over a 3-day span, and it came together well in book form. And I'll always think fondly of it, and getting to work with Michael a second time. So folks, I appreciate your time, and we'll do book 6 soon as time allows. My best to all of you. Thank you.